Can you keep a secret?
Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of The Secret Meter. I'm your host, Kalita, and today I want to speak to you guys because I am so proud of myself. I'm legit proud of myself. I accomplished something that I never thought that I would accomplish because it was definitely a challenge. And what I am talking about is my first water fast. So I decided to do a fast. I've been wanting to fast for quite some time now, and I just would start a fast and get distracted and, just not be fully present in what I was trying to do. And for some odd reason, one of my Facebook friends were just like, they were gonna do a water fast, and I was like, you know what? Now's the time for me to try a water fast because I have a partner. I have someone who could tell me what to do when I feel distressed, or just give me a heads up on the process because they also did it numerous times before. So I hit this person up and I was just like, could I fast with you? Could I, just check in with you? We could just check in on each other because they hadn't done it in a long time and I never did it. So it was just an experience that I just naturally just wanted to try. We intended to do 3 days, and we both said that based upon how we felt on the third day, then we would make it to 5 days. So I initially knew that I wanted to do 5 days just because the things that I was fasting for, I felt like I couldn't get a real sense of that presence until I accomplished a certain amount of days. So people fast for different things. Like people fast to lose weight, people fast for a spiritual connection, people fast just for discipline, just a form of clarity, or just wanted to experience it. So for me, one, I wanted to experience it. Two, I wanted us more so of a spiritual experience. And I also wanted to see if my body was willing enough to go through it, and also if I had the mental capacity to just try something that was so challenging. So, we started from Monday and they started at 12. My last meal was last Monday at 7 a.m. I ate breakfast and then we just kind of got the ball rolling. And I have fasted for 2 days on my own, and by the third day, I'm just kind of I'm over it, or by the second night, I'm over it. So during the process, it was nice because I got to share with the person how I was feeling during the process, and we also just exchanged different kinds of music because during my fast, I literally cut off everything. I was not on social media like that. I took my social media intake down to probably an hour, if that much. I wasn't speaking on the phone. I decided to not listen to soca music, which I love. And I just took away a lot of things that I felt would be distracting to me. I listened to a lot of gospel music. I listened to different sermons. I meditated. I also was introduced to lo-fi music. And to be honest, I really love it because it just helped me focus. By the second day, I was completely fine. And going into my third day, that's when I, started to feel very just uncomfortable. I try my best to have a routine. I would get up in the morning time. I would, say my prayers, and I would, journal and just have a little bit of quiet time. And then being a mom, I would go help my daughter with her schoolwork, then cook lunch and dinner. And I restricted myself from television as well. I was only allowed to watch things that I wanted to learn like hence YouTube, whether it was a makeup tutorial or a hair tutorial or some kind of tutorial, and I was only allowed to watch one show, which was Family Matters. And the reason why I chose Family Matters is because of the simple fact that it's just been really fun to watch. It's really funny to me, and I was just trying to keep my energy in a certain space, a certain sense of positivity, because I knew for a fact that I would be hungry. I really enjoy food. I feel like food should be something that is accessible. I'm a person that I feel like if someone asks me for food, I will never say no, because it's food, you know, that's how you survive. It's something that really helps you cope in the world. Like, being hungry is something that is very difficult to do. And on my third day, I would say that based upon my intentions of my fast, which I said that, you know, it was for like clarity and for a spiritual connection with, you know, my higher being, I really started to just depend on a source outside of myself to help me get through the hunger pains. I started to like really hone in on just my mental capacity and saying to myself, you know, like, you can really do this, and you know, this is gonna show you who you are when you're done. On my second day, it was very draining for me emotionally, because something happened that, you know, was kind of personal. And in the moment of like being hungry, it's like you just don't want to deal with certain emotions, but I feel like I handle it very, very well. But really the challenge really started for me the third night. By the third night, it was difficult for me to even like go to sleep, because by that time I just was feeling really weary. Even though I did drink a lot of water, the taste of water started to change. It was just like, how much water am I gonna drink? And trying to find comfort in yourself when you're hungry is very, very difficult. And in those moments where I was really hungry, I would just, you know, say to myself that, you know, I can do this. It's we're halfway there. You know, you can push through. And to be honest, I just was very glad to just go to sleep that night. To help me with my sleep, I was taking CBD oil, and it did help keep me asleep. And by the fourth night, I just wasn't in the mood. So after my third day, like, I could really feel my stomach starting to contract, because it was just like, when are you going to feed me? When are you going to put something in your mouth to make me feel like I'm alive? I started to get like black circles or like dark circles underneath my eye. And I was very wary, but because I feel like I was pulling on a source outside of myself, I was really at peace, even though I was hungry. On my fourth day, it was really challenging. I really spent most of my day on the ground. And the reason why I felt like I was more comfortable on the ground, because in the bed, when you lay down, you kind of have like that, your mattress is trying to create or like, you know, form to your body. And it wasn't like flat line. It was like, if I would move one way, I would still feel like I'm moving and I'm trying to get comfortable. And it just made my stomach feel at ease. I would say by the fourth day, I was still at peace, but there were times where it was like, I felt like as if I was delusional to a sense. Like, I would take naps to kind of also get me through the day, and I would wake up from these naps and feel like I'm going straight to the cabinet to get me something to eat. And I literally fought myself not to take that step, because before I decided to do this fast, I literally went grocery shopping. So my fridge was full with so much food. I had so much snacks, and even being a mother and having to cook and not being able to taste my food to make sure that it tasted right, it was a challenge. And on the fourth day, I was completely tired of drinking water. I probably drank the least amount of water on my fourth day, but I did also, by the fourth day, feel like the spiritual connection that I wanted was starting to flourish. And I'm not going to get in depth about the things that I asked for in details, but a lot of things became clear to me. A lot of the things that are going on in my life, it made me understand where I was at. It made me say to myself, this is really not for you. Like, you're just wasting your time in this situation, and you just need to move on from it. And I also learned a lot of things about myself. I realized how much I depended on my friends to talk and get through the day, and I wasn't really having much quiet time. And the fourth night, I had a major headache. Like, I was just like, if I got up to go to the bathroom, I was feeling really lightheaded. And there was times when my daughter would be like, you're crazy, like, why don't you just eat? And I'm like, this is about discipline. It's about your mind being able to say, I'm in control of my body. And at that moment, it was just like, I really wanted to give up on my fourth day, but it was just like, you have one more day. What is one more day gonna do? But one more day is a lot, and on the fourth day and night, it was really, really tough, because not only was I so close, but also the person that I started with decided to, just do the 3 days for their reasons or whatever. And it was just like me by myself. And I really had to, just say to myself, you can really do this. And the friends that I did choose to speak to for a little bit of time, they were just like, you're really strong. I can't believe that you're doing this. And it really helped to encourage me. But when I say the fourth night, I just could not sleep, because after a while, your belly will start to like contract. I almost felt like if I was pregnant, because I could feel like, it's like if I felt a baby kicking inside of me, like my body was saying to me, you need to eat right now. And even in the midst of all of that, I still felt at peace. Like, I still had a sense of stillness. I still had a sense of my body is a vessel, and my spirit is what carries my body. And I was just really just, in a sense of just calmness. And it was so strange, because your body's saying one thing, your mind is saying one thing, but your spiritual self is just in awe, I guess, at the whole experience altogether. And I was just very grateful that I wasn't angry. I was grateful that I wasn't, a bad mom, because I am hungry. I'm seeing my daughter eat all these snacks and all these groceries that, I'm not able to eat. And, sometimes you get hangry. Like, at that point, you're beyond hungry. You're just like, standing up for too long. It was just a lot. And on my fifth day, by the time I woke up, I felt literally like nothing. I felt like my stomach was in my back, and I felt like I was light, like a feather. I knew for a fact that I had lost inches. I wouldn't say that I lost weight per se, because I feel like the rest of my body was just kind of the same. But in my stomach area, I realized that, like, my pants felt like it was holding on to nothing. And so I measured myself, and my waist had gotten down to a little bit less than 29 inches, and I felt crazy. And it wasn't crazy like in a sense of crazy going cuckoo, but crazy like I didn't even know that I was capable of doing this. And I decided to take my daughter for a walk because it was really nice on the 5th day, and that walk was a lot. Like walking in the sun and just trying to catch some air was just very difficult. I would say that my breath was just shortened just in general. Even as I meditated, I realized that just inhaling and exhaling was a task in itself. And so when I was walking, I had to take moments of just like taking my time and like really breathing and really trying to like push my body to wherever it was that I was going. And I remember my daughter like holding my arm because she felt like, oh well, what if like I might pass out or something. But I felt like I was strong enough to withstand that. But at the same token, it definitely was a lot. From me walking for maybe about 30 minutes, when I got home, I was extremely tired. And I also gave up working out, and that was the reason why, because I felt like if I worked out during the fast, it would bring on even more exhaustion, and I didn't want to do that, and I didn't want to risk breaking my fast because I was so exhausted. What I will say is that counting down to the final hours were a lot. And to be honest, I didn't even finish Saturday like until 7 a.m. I literally, once the clock hit 12 a.m. and it was Saturday morning, I literally was like, I am done. I have done enough. I have proven to myself that in the midst of being hungry and dealing with things emotionally and understanding where relationships are in my life and understanding where I want to go in my life, and also receiving discernment. Discernment was something that I really, really wanted during this fast, and receiving discernment and knowing that this is just not a facade, because sometimes we can listen to music and we can, like watch TV shows, and it could trigger something where it's like, oh, maybe I should do this or maybe I should do that. But to have no food, barely any TV, barely any social media, and not conversating, on a span where it's like 2-3 hours at a time, it really, the things that were coming to me really made me understand that this is really the discernment talking, and it's not just, oh well, this looks cool and maybe I should do it. And I learned a lot of things about myself, and I know that it is very risky to do a fast, and there are some people who fast for 10 days, 40 days. Like, everyone knows how to, take care of their bodies. A lot of people were just like, you could die, or, that's just too much and you need to eat. And even though it was my first time doing it, I would say that I would 9 times out of 10 do it again. Would I do it every month or every 2 months? Probably not. But I will say it was very, very challenging, and I am super proud of myself because I didn't have a job to go to distract me. I didn't have so many things to just go out and just, be a part of, so that way I don't really notice what's going on throughout the day. I literally shut down a lot of things in my life, and having food in my cabinets and in my refrigerator where I could just go to the fridge and just pick something up and just be like, you know what, this is it. it really made me understand the importance of food. It made me understand the importance of material things, because sleeping through hunger pains, no one should have to do that. No one should have to do that. And that to me it just brought this sense of, there's a lot of worldly things that we talk about that it's really not important. It's really irrelevant when you think about people not having food to eat or not having clothes. It's almost like the same thing in my book. And we take a lot of things for granted. We take food for granted. We we overeat, and we just overdo a lot of things. And this experience taught me that not only do I have the discipline, I get the right to say what goes on with my body. I have the ability to choose accordingly. I have the ability to use my emotions properly, because in the midst of hunger, you can go insane. You can literally go insane and lose your mind, because you're so hungry. And now I can see why when you look at homeless people, it's like, how could you eat out of a trash can? Because I'm hungry. I'm really, really hungry. And at this point, it really doesn't matter where I get my food from, because I am hungry. And it's a sad thing, but I really am proud of myself, because I did it because I wanted to. And so because I did it because I wanted to, I don't have to wait. And I will make sure that I always put myself in a position, as long as I'm able to physically and mentally, to not be in that position where I don't have the option to eat when I want. And I just wanted to share that experience with you, because it was a very glorifying experience. It was a very peaceful experience. It was a very shocking experience. And I just was so in bliss, because it is a challenge. It will do something to you that will change you on a whole nother level. And I'm not saying this because I feel like all people should fast. There's all different types of fasting. Everyone has their own opinion about it. But for me, I've always wanted to do this. I've heard stories about people doing this, and to be able to control a source of food is a great feat, because hunger and homelessness, or just poverty in general, will make the mind feel like, I will do anything just to get out of this situation. And to be able to control myself for that amount of time was just like, wow. And my first meal was soup. But I'm not gonna lie, you guys, I was kind of disappointed in myself, because of the simple fact that when I broke my fast, I prayed, I had my moment, and I was just, very grateful for it. But when I say I could not control myself, I could not control myself when I ate. I had soup. Then I had pineapple and mango chow. Pineapple and cucumber chow. I don't know if you guys know what chow is, but if you're Caribbean, then you know what chow is. Then I had cheesecake. Then I had Flamin' Hot Cheetos. It was like, my mind was just like, eat your heart out. And after me eating the Flamin' Hot Cheetos, my stomach was like, excuse me, you were just vacant for 5 days, and now you want to have a party? It's not gonna happen. And my body really had to come into itself, and I just had to slow down, because I was really, really hungry. And I was hoping to drink soup, go to bed, then wake up and eat something else. I was really trying to ease my way into it, but I was just so hungry, guys. I just was like, who even cares? And luckily, nothing serious happened. I will say that I literally felt my body trying to I guess, align itself. Like I would feel rushes of whatever it is, whether it was my sugar or whether it was me putting salt back into my body, because like I said, I was just drinking so much water. But I could feel like rushes of my head just like saying, what is this? And my body like, okay, we're doing something's going on. And I will say that the first time I slept once I ate it was the best sleep I ever had. It was literally the best sleep I ever had, because I was going to bed hungry, waking up hungry, going back to bed hungry, and I just feel like it was a great experience for me because I got everything that I wanted out of it. Like I said, I will not go into details of the intentions that I had outside of me just being very vague as far as my spirituality and, clarity and discipline. But I asked myself, or I wrote down very specific things that I decided to receive discernment on and just be clear on thoughts. And when I tell you, as I was praying and I was meditating, it came to me. And when I say it came to me, it's like it literally had no room to what's the word that I'm trying to say? Like, it was almost instant. It was almost like, I'm asking for this. I need to see what's going on with this. I need a minute. I'll pray, I'll meditate, or I'll take a nap. And it's like, there it is. I need to know what it is that I need to feel in this situation. Did the same thing. There it was, and I think that happened to me because my intentions were set on that. I feel like if you started fast and you want to lose weight, you would be more concerned with stepping on a scale and measuring yourself. And I did not weigh myself before. I did not care how much I weighed. I did not weigh myself after. It did not matter to me. It does not matter to me. Only reason why I measured my stomach, which I started off at I would say 31, and it went down to a little bit past 29, is because my stomach literally felt like nothing on the 50. But if it did not feel that way, I probably would not have measured myself. Once I started eating, I naturally went back to 30. I'm in between 31, 30, which is completely fine with me. I say this again because I say it in my other videos. I love my body. It had nothing to do with what I look like. It had everything to do with what I was feeling and what I felt like and what I was going to feel like. And if you are going too fast, I would say really pay attention to your body. If you feel like you cannot go on, then it's okay to just take baby steps and slowly build up to that. I know 5 is a lot for someone who has never fasted before, but I had already made up my mind that this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. So that's exactly why I did it the way that I did. And if you can even get through one day, that is a great feat, because hunger is something that the world thinks is second nature, especially in America, because it's like we have big burgers and supersize, and we have so much access to food. And when you go to other countries, the portions are very small. The food is good, but the portions are small. And it's like in America, everything is like a lot of food, and we just get into a state of where it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to eat and I'm gonna eat, and I'm and I just also felt like my body just needed a break from processing all the time and just constantly going. And it was fun. It was fun in the moment. It was still fun, even though I did go through a lot of pain physically. And when I say a lot of pain, I don't mean like I'm dying pain. I do have a high tolerance for pain, but it was bearable for me. It was something where it was like, I have to accomplish this. I have to prove to myself that I can do this. I know that I'm strong enough to do this, and I will show myself that I'm strong enough to do this. So it was more mental for me. And like I said, if you really want to fast, knock yourself out. Don't let people discourage you. Don't let what doctors say, as long as you don't have any medical issues. Like for me, I have asthma, but it wasn't like my asthma was so, even though I was like had a shortness of breath, I still was perfectly fine. And I feel like we all can tell when enough is enough for us, So with that being said, I hope that you really enjoyed this video. I hope that you really like my experience. And if you want to try it, and if you even want to like reach out to me and say, like, could you hold my hand through this process, I do not have a problem with that. I feel like everyone should try some type of fast at some point in time in their life. And it just shows the universe that you're willing to sacrifice things for things to be replenished in your life. And I really, really, really had fun even in the process of it, because I got to experience things that I didn't know that I could. And I also became closer to God and to the universe, and to the feeling and the being of vibrations and energy. And like, it's just a lot. I don't want to keep rambling, but it's just a lot. And it was so fun to me. It was so fun to me. Even in the hard times, it was fun. It was fun to me because, I was challenging myself. And I just hope that you guys see the beauty in fasting. And I really hope that you enjoyed this video. So with that being said, always come back to my channel, like, subscribe, comment. Like I always say, if you can keep a secret, you can always come back. And I will be back with another episode very, very soon. So I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.